Hello, vicarious mercenaries, proxy ninjas, and pop culture PhDs. Welcome back for the midweek edition of The Rec Room. Coming at you from Studio E on HyperStream 2.2. Hope all is well in your world. Can't say it's been too crazy, just been some real life things going on. Wasn't sure if I was going to have a meeting that was going to cut into stream time, but thankfully it didn't. So we are on time, thankfully. So yeah, I guess a couple details going on here in a second. But if you're new to the Rec Room, well, essentially this is your virtual hangout for creative project updates, pop culture commentary, and deep dives into franchises that inspire any of the above. And on Wednesdays, for Warrior Wednesday, we've been working on Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate on PlayStation 4. So we'll be continuing with that this evening. But as far as the other stuff, I have no visuals for you tonight. There wasn't actually enough of noteworthy stuff to really update you on that's requiring any visual cue of sorts. As far as the rundown, numbers are steady. Things are all systems go as usual. No changes up or down is a good thing. I've been plugging away a little bit on the TikTok side of things. I haven't quite mentioned, other than last week, I did mention that we're on there. But in case it's of interest to anybody who's watching the Rec Room, I'm kind of treating that for a little bit more of an unscripted kind of deal. Not that the Rec Room isn't scripted or is or isn't or whatever. It's clearly the Rec Room is non-scripted 99% of the time. But because the format's different for TikTok, there's some things that kind of are going to fit well over there, but may not necessarily be the same for the Rec Room. But one of the things I actually did a little bit of a close-up of some of the cool content that we got hanging out in here. So I might have a little bit more of that going on, but if you just kind of want to see some more close-up stuff or maybe a little bit more in-depth on just some of the physical, tangible things, head on over to our TikTok account, which is at the Enforcer OS over there. And I did a possible teaser today for another programming option, which I've had an idea for a long time, and it's going to deviate completely from all the gaming stuff. So I have a stockpile of Lego that goes way back to the 80s, and it is in quite disarray. And given how pop culture stuff is all over the map in terms of what people chase, and the fact I know that even some of the toy and the retro stuff gets a lot of mileage these days, I think there might finally be opportunity to start tapping into some of that now that things are kind of at a steady workflow with the Rec Room and the other programming things going on. So we'll see how that transpires the next couple days. I got to get a couple things set up for maybe a workspace, and it probably won't be a live stream at this point. Now that I have another idea, at least I can record some stuff. Because originally I was thinking live stream might be kind of cool, but it involves setting up a whole parallel studio, which kind of not in the cards at the moment. But to manually do some videos and upload them might be a possibility. Of course, that's not to undercut the other cool things going on. So I've been talking about Scrapyard and progress on that. And as of today, the background visuals are done. So that just leaves foreground and overlays. So we're about at the 40% mark in total. So that's good. So I'm hoping maybe by end of this week, maybe into next week, that should be pretty close to done. Now, to actually fire that up is going to involve getting somebody else on board to play some fighting games against unless I start up with more of a solo playthrough for, say, character unlocks or something. So that's a play by ear. I don't have anything definitive for you yet. But also, there is a high probability. I mean, it is looking pretty close to certain, barring any changes. Of course, life stuff happens. But we should hopefully have a new episode of Last Land Standing toward the end of October here. And we will be firing up a new game that we have not done for that yet. So once I complete the stuff for Scrapyard, then I gotta get stuff finished for Last Land Standing, because previously we did Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, and that is a standard definition game. So I do not have the overlays set up for high definition, so I've also got some things to adjust on that as well. So I have my plate full for October, and that doesn't even include all the other stuff I gotta do, getting back to work on audio cleanup for Firewall Protocol Saga for all the content over on our Patreon side, and all the various other things I'm trying to do to keep myself busy and fill the time with content. And speaking of, just before going live, I got another strategy video uploaded for Metal Slug Attack Reloaded. So on Mondays, we work on our playthrough of that, and we made some serious progress on the ever so annoying mode called Another Story, which is not very storyful whatsoever. But it has some very difficult and challenging sections in there, and I've noticed that our videos in the past that have been highlights of the live streams have been, I don't know if well received is the word, but they've at least been more actively viewed than the live stream content. So it kind of has, given me motivation to work on more of those. Now, unfortunately, I have not worked on Metal Slug in a couple weeks. A lot of the content that has gone up has been from Ninja Turtles, and that has seemingly been received very well. And it reminds me, I got a side note, I forgot to get a visual ready for that tonight. But now that we're back on Metal Slug, uh, there should hopefully be at least 3 or 4 clips worth of content from our Monday night live stream. So we'll see if I can get to that. There's a few others in the backlog I might get to, but they haven't been nearly as important as some of the higher difficulty things. But we got one up there for the Independent Army, Chapter 8. And surprisingly, Chapter 8 was more difficult than Chapters 9 and 10. So that's why I decided to do that one first. And also, so the note in relation to Turtles. So I hinted at this Monday. It's just bizarre that several videos got a sizable number of views compared to almost any of the content that we've posted in the last year and a half. And just overnight, snap of a finger, blink of an eye, about 2/3 of the views disappeared on one video. So my thought is usually it's bots or algorithm stuff and YouTube shenanigans. I can't make sense of that. So it's surprisingly it only affected one video. But hey, part of the process. But yeah, anyway, I'll keep plugging away at some more Metal Slug stuff. And then tomorrow night, barring any issues, we should be back on some Turtles. I'm trying to think, and I don't think there's too much I can report on. Actually, you know what? There's something interesting that came up today for Ascendant Chaos now that I'm looking at it on the screen there. So I've been digging into advertising and promotional stuff. Now, I started something up on Amazon a couple weeks ago, and it was apparently automated. It basically was picking the keywords, and the success for that has been pretty minimal. I mean, there's been a lot of impressions, but I haven't been able to see, or at least I haven't found yet, how to figure out which keywords it's leveraging. So I started up something manual in which I got to pick the keywords, and already I'm able to view the responses to look at some of the things that when the book will show up, I pick things like sci-fi and mecha, so that hopefully should come as no surprise given the content of the book that I've worked on. But it's actually showing me when the promotional stuff shows up. And what's bizarre is some of the words I would not have expected to be very high. So a couple that are very high are things like comic and DC. So apparently that means a lot of people are searching for comics and DC comics on Amazon. Okay, not a big surprise there, but here's one of the high ones. Was Pacific Rim. So I love Pacific Rim. I like mech and mecha stuff. So I mean, it's no surprise to me that there'd be stuff going on there. But I'm like, compared to some of the other keywords, which are a little bit more contemporary or a little bit more related to some of the other content from a gaming standpoint that I may have selected for a marketing word, I'm like, wow, dozen impressions on Pacific Rim. I was not expecting that, but even things like Tom Clancy, people are still looking for. Of course, big ones like science fiction and sci-fi books. But it's kind of interesting going through the learning process. So there's just things in there I was not expecting to be high active search words compared to others. At least I'll put it that way. So let's see. I did actually have a pop culture thing to talk about tonight. It actually pertains to Warriors Orochi. So strangely, there has been more viewers, I think, on Warriors Orochi when we've been online. And I think last week there was 2 viewers, and it's already up to double digits. It was 14 when I went to get everything set up tonight over on Twitch. So I'm like, okay, like with Turtles, suddenly there was an uptick because of new DLC content. I'm like, what's going on in the Warriors world or the Dynasty Warriors world? I have no idea. But I was looking at an article today, and it was an editorial. The person was talking about their concern for the roster for a Dynasty Warriors Origins game that's coming out. So I'm somebody who can't really speculate too much with a lot of investment, because this really is the only game I've played in the franchise, and clearly I'm not nearly as invested in it, having only played it once in a decade. But it was just kind of interesting because it made sense. Like, hey, this might give me a little more insight into where the franchise is going. And I guess the direction is, with it being, I don't know if it's because of it being an origin story, but the idea is that apparently even the older Warriors games may not been at the same level as Warriors Orochi here, but they were known for having sizable rosters. And apparently this person doing the editorial was just doing comparisons and all that and just expressing why that's a concern. I had another takeaway, though, despite whatever the opinions would have been in the article, that we may be reaching the point where the industry is bearing the stress marks of having cannibalized itself and devoured its audience by pushing them in the direction of live service games, high end, technical requirements needed to produce the games, and then burning everybody out after trying to treat everybody as a cash grab, to the point of nobody seems to be investing in lengthy single player games anymore. So therefore, if they are perceiving that nobody wants a robust single player experience anymore, they're completely either having to downsize the amount of content they're offering, either because the technical requirements are so high or just they can't get the budget to do all the things they want to do, which is alarming that game development could be becoming so expensive that we literally have already bypassed the golden era of gaming, especially on the single player side. So, like I said, I'm not invested. I know a little bit more about Team Ninja and Koei, or at least more on the Team Ninja side, having been proxies to some of the content over the years. I know less about the Koei side, and I think it's Omega Force is the one behind some of these games. The only other Omega Force game I think I played was Tokiden, which was a Demon Slayer game. Had the capacity for co-op and had these really long battles and cool weapon systems, but it was not one I would go back to just because of the length of time it is for very little payout and some of the randomness. But beyond that, I don't have much to speak of from what Omega Force puts out as a product. So I don't know what's going on there, but I still think the writing is on the wall for some very major concerns for the industry. And this is even apart from all the ideological problems that are going on, which a lot of people have addressed in the last year or two. So we'll see what happens. I mean, hey, I hope that Dynasty Warriors goes well, but I mean, because the crossover was what got me into this portion of the franchise, it's not something I'm anticipating, not to mention the kind of barrier to entry of it only being on the current gen systems anyway. But, I figure I'd at least bring that up for some content. In the meantime, we are ready to dive into the action. So we are on episode 15, which I called Time Ninjas. So I don't know if we're going to spend more time in the past, the present, or the future of the past, whichever that would be. Because what we did last week, we've been still working on Chapter 3, which has been in the past of trying to rally the forces to fight against the Hydra. But we jumped into the future or the present portion of the game because we had this one-off mission, which then gave us Kasumi from Dead or Alive, and of course she's had a cameo in Ninja Gaiden as well. Unfortunately, it is the worst of the three in the modern trilogy. So I at least want to get another one of the Ninja Gaiden characters unlocked, or DOA, whichever, take your pick. But because we still have another thing to do in the past, we're probably going to focus on that, and I just don't know if it's going to unlock more or if it's going to finally catapult us up to Chapter 4, where there's this massive Hydra battle. So I don't know what's going to happen yet. Kind of with everything, it's hard to really predict without having a solid memory of something. I mean, so it's not a blind playthrough. It's more of like I really forgot everything playthrough. So it's almost like half blind. Can't tell if my audio's down. I don't want to blow you out on that. Been getting a little better at the audio balance, but I don't know if it's ever a perfect thing considering I don't have like a lock-in on the slider. Kind of manually adjusting it all the time. So yeah, we picked Angry Birdman and Hayabusa and Taishi, so I think we may have upgraded him, or did we... I'm trying to remember if my intent was to roll with him for another or change up. Let's go look at our weapons first. We may have gotten everything ready last week, but... He's got that. Do we have anything else to use? Brawn, something we could add to it, but not really high in the priority list at the moment. You know what? Let's do it. We got 42,000. We must not have spent much yet. Actually, so let's go look at the purchase capacity here. This guy's kind of our anchor, and we've only got 2 things that are not maxed out as of yet. So Frenzy and Wind. So there's 1 Frenzy. Unfortunately, it's expensive because it's got other stuff we don't need. No Wind. Oh, there's a Wind. Oh, for the dual panda stick that we can't purchase. So maybe we'll roll 1 mission with him, and then we'll switch up to our Ninja Gaiden team, or a mixture thereof. So I think Brawn was the one we're going to add, so that's not too expensive to maybe get a little bit more in the Brawn category. There's another Brawn, but more expensive. And Frenzy. You know what? We'll buy 2 for him. And Brawn. Probably wouldn't hurt to add Destruction, since it's already there. Alright, Hayabusa, you need anything since we're going to hang out with you for a bit. So Flame, Agility, Frenzy, and Brawn Slay. So Brawn for 4, but expensive. Flame for 2, Brawn for 3. So we'd already be maxed on Flame. Don't have Flak, don't have Celerity, don't have Harmony. So we'll get you 1. That'll get you at least a total of 4 points added. Okay. So we didn't do anything for him. Need to take this and add Brawn. No. Oh. Okay, hit the wrong button. We don't want to waste money on stuff we don't need. Alright, there's Frenzy. And there's another 2 more on Brawn and Destruction just because. Alright, and Hayabusa. Start here. And not gonna do Providence. Max out Flame with that and get Brawn up to 8. I don't know why it is I suddenly start feeling congestion right after I go live. Okay, that's about all we're going to do here. We got these 21 tickets, which I have no idea what I'm going to do with. So let's save. And then take a look what the map looks like. So yeah, we jumped up to Chapter 2 to do this Battle of Yuan Province to unlock Kasumi. It's interesting that she had dialogue with Hayabusa, even though he's not recommended. Because of course there's some back and forth with Kasumi and Ayane. So this is the one I'm concerned about, because this has got a much higher difficulty. But we're still, for the most part, hanging out back here. So how's this on difficulty? That's a 7. This is also a 7, so I guess it doesn't matter too much. Might as well try this one out first. And I guess we'll head into the other one with our modified team after. Might be better to do the modified team on this one, but we're gonna walk on the wild side here. Yashiori, I don't even know how to pronounce that correctly. That's a lot of vowel sounds. I don't know who any of them are. Oh, is he gonna start working with us now?
ヤシオウリ建造のための資材を奪還することだけどよ、こっからは見えねえだけでお前というやつは
Somebody's impatient. It all goes downhill after losing an eyeball. Alright, so army info. Wow, so we got 4 dudes that can't die, huh? Who's the Centaurus fellow? Alright, so 3 of them are near us, the other one's on the farther side. Sun Wukong's top middle. What a shock. So we're gonna have to snake our way around until they throw any other random objectives at us. I don't know if we'll have to go defend off, or defend Centaurus, or head for Wukong. I see some locked doors if we head north, so either Sun Wukong's gonna come out, or something will transpire, so that's about all I got. Angry Birdman. That or he just talks simply from the gut with a deep booming voice. No, so this guy's captive, huh? Yeah, we'll run into you with a propeller. And do some lightning over top of your heads. Didn't quite check his level, but I guess it doesn't hurt when I save some of the points up for upgrading Kasumi, considering it takes a lot of points to start getting up to levels 15 and 20, just to keep him competent. Alright, who's big bad boss man needs to go down? Oh, Hogmo's here. Where'd he go? Alright, let's go this way because we gotta go around. You brought the arrows, I brought the propeller. I mean, it is a good thing this game doesn't force you to use the recommended teams, because otherwise there'd be a big problem of like, oh, I'm getting bored, or I don't like this character. I mean, I can see on a consecutive playthrough of like, okay, now I'll do all the recommended ones now that I've relearned how to play the game, but otherwise I don't know if there's any other stuff that unlocks, like you get other quests or missions or access to things by doing the recommended or even story content. So it says he's in trouble, but I've still got a lot of dudes to cut through unless they're expecting me to run directly there. And actually, not Galena. Oh, what? He already swung and hit the ground. That shouldn't have hit me. Alright, let's take him out. And go out and around. Oh, I'm reassured. Angry Bird as the Lawnmower Man. I just remember there being a the Lawnmower Man video game. Never saw it. You know, I just remember having the creepy cover art and everything. I eventually watched that movie long after it came out. And I'm like, that was supposed to be like the early pioneers of like CG and stuff. And I thought it was an absolute terrible movie. Or maybe not even CG as much as just being about virtual reality. It is just lame and twisted. Not that I was really calling him this guy Lawnmower Man as much as just being a lawnmower and being a dude. Alright, you apparently need a little more convincing here. We'll do the lightning backspin on you. Is there another dude in here? Yep, red back. Got you in the air. Clean out a few more for good measure. defeated 500 enemies just like that. They run and then they all, like school of fish, just run the opposite direction. And you say, hive mind? He's on the left. Where is he? There we go. Oh, heal back. Okay, stand right next to him. He's not dead, though. Persistent bugger. This way. Oh, he's coming to us. Good job there, Centaurus. You don't look like a centaur. Gotcha. It's nice to actually leverage strong attacks now that I know how to use them in part of the combo string. Rather than just thinking they're there for standalone maneuvers. Oh, Patch Nose wants a piece of this. He's trying to hide in the crowd. Oh. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Your princess is in another castle. You don't say. Princess Gatling Cannon. There. Oh no, Monkey King's gonna destroy the materials. What's he gonna do? Eat them and poop on them? Or eat them and then poop them? I don't know. I don't really care. It's just part of the nondescript story. Hey, I wonder if Hayabusa wants to play yet. Nah, Club Man can sit out. He's already leveled up enough. Whoa, how'd I end up switching to white Hayabusa? I didn't do that. Oh, blizzard camouflage, except I'm on a giant grassy plain. Alright, I'm not fighting anything useful here. Let's go find somebody. The Huntsman. The Huntsman wants a piece. The Huntsman ain't gonna die so easily. That got him. Along with like 750 others. Numbers exaggerated for emphasis. It's like a disclaimer you need. So be like, you didn't kill 750, you only killed 2. Yeah, but it looked like 750. I can't really pile driver him, can I? Oh, well, nope, we can. Never mind. This wants its health to what's this? That's a moose. No, it's not a moose. So what is this? All recovered. Didn't really need it, but thanks. I don't need your ancient mystical tuna sandwich. Alright. He's supposedly standing right on top of it. He's warps in it. Oh! Ah! I banned the combo because I didn't realize I caught him. Don't mess with a snow ninja. Snow ninja, a friend of mine. Wow, it's just crazy. That first cut of the reach is either using that slay effect or something else, because it just cuts him down. See, look at that. Like, that range is like massive circle. I'll go to Moon Oblivion too. I don't care if you think you're a monkey. Just stun them all. Haha, speed up. I don't care if I Zuna drop the wrong one, at least the crater is going to get somebody of relevance. Can I get the Monkey King yet? mean, this guy and Kiyomori make bad checks. Can't get rid of him. Yes, another level of brilliance. Sarcasm. It almost did the trick. The cold hand. And light him on fire. Yeah, just a thought about that whole sequel with less characters. It's, or I don't know, sequel, not the right word, but a new installment. You know, developers, you know, set the bar a certain way. And you end up taking a step backwards if you can't reproduce. Now, I understand if you go back to a vanilla level, which is like pre-DLC, but then part of the problem is they keep rebuilding engines every single installment, and you like, no wonder why you're not getting as much out there. I think Team Ninja had that problem with DOA. I mean, it's insane that they canceled DOA 6's production within a year, maybe 2 years, compared to the 5 years that they had on Dead or Alive 5. And it's because they kept supporting and kept building on it, but then you went all the way back to ground zero and expected everybody to pay for DLC all over again. It almost kind of feels like Dynasty Warriors might be running the same trap. Like, hey, you used to having 100 characters, well, congratulations, now you get 10. You know, that's just not going to work. I mean, you've already got a working engine. I mean, is it really the difference of the technology that's going to make it a better product, or is it the creativity that you put how to leverage that engine? Who are the guys that are yellow dots over there? Okay. Can we go in the castle? Yeah, we can go in the castle. Hey, we've already stabbed you twice. Leave us alone. You know, we weren't fighting a real you anyway. Monkey clones. Lightning you by the Birdman. Tell what's going on in my face anymore. Oh, he wants to be our opponent. Okay, well, that's fine. Just stab you too. Alright, Clubbing Man's coming out to clear out this mob. Beat down the monkey with a stick. Take that for opposable thumbs. And we'll take your weapon too. Urutu wanted another piece. No running. Look at these guys. Boo Boo, and are we supposed to fight them or are we supposed to help them? No, maybe we'll help them. I'm having an uncooperative bandana day. Tron Laser Disc Man from the future alien world. I have no idea where he's from. Dude, he's got a Tron disc. He will like slice your head off. I mean, he already knows. He probably got hit in the eye by it. Is that a cannon on his forearm? Oh no, it's a. It's not a lightsaber, it's a light dagger. Dude, it might be more effective if you were to dual wield those instead of just having one. Okay, where are we going? Looks like he's behind us. This way. Dude's gonna get clocked. Here, I got something for you. Ooh, got 75% out of that. Come here. Bonk. Uh-oh, he's gonna super. Yep, that's gonna hurt. No, maybe not. That didn't do a lot of damage. do it. Nope.
胸の高鳴りが胸の高鳴り
Hit him in the back.
僕には
Hit him in the kidney.
わからないけど
貴様には大事なものが欠けているらしい。哀れなやつだ。
挑戦仲間協力負けたけど何かがちょっと引っかかってる
He has been defeated. Is he now going to join us? Yeah, I was expecting more of a challenge too, honestly.
ああでも油断はできねえ次に会う時は
Oh, well, if we're going to meet him again, then he's not going to join us.
俺もそう思う次に相まみえる日楽しみ真偽を果たしたまでだ着せずしてナタとの戦いが叶った
It was unexpected, but I got to fight him.
勝つことはできたあの強さへの執念あれは本物だ
You guys are so dramatic.
次に会ったら
なんだおじけづくような柄でもあるまい。
おじけづいてなんかね
Uh huh.
まったく。
Yeah. Hydra guys. Eyes on the objective. Hey, pipe down. Ooh, we got a weapon with nothing on it. I'm gonna slay. Another weapon with nothing on it. And another weapon with nothing on it. Ooh, courage. Don't care. And we'll keep the ice because we need to stockpile that. We haven't used it yet.
お
New wallpaper. So no, you didn't join us. What was that all about? To do a redux? Nobody wants to talk to us. All right, let's change team. Okay. Yeah, he's doing all right, 26. Thing is, if we switch to Kasumi, and then if I do Ayane as well, we're gonna be kind of heavy on speed. I don't know if I want to do that. All right, how far can we go? 124,000. That's a little bit more sizable now. Let's go to 15. That's 20. You're good. That's 45,000. Not enough. Let's stop there. Still weak sauce. Gonna change her weapon and some things.